It's a default thing that you can enable under gameplay enhancements, I believe.
5, 4, 3.
I think it was like one of them. Or it's interface or something. Yeah, it's interface center big defensives. That's a default feature you have. With Dunder's frames, I can just make them smaller and reposition them, which is obviously better than making them huge in the fucking middle of your icons. Okay, well, everything's already dead, bro. What are we here for? What are we fighting for? Also, why does my tank have 6 divas? You criminal. But if you're talking about like these, this is the same thing that the Blizzard one has. It's the exact same. It's just smaller and repositionable because I'm using an add-on and not the Blizzard ones, because the Blizzard ones don't let you edit it for some stupid reason. But no, I wish we had Omnicity, but we don't know. Omnicity is something that we probably will never have again. Unless somebody makes like something similar and somehow dodges Blizzard's API. A little skeptical though. I feel like they wouldn't allow you to have something like that again. Although I say that, but we have targeted spells already, so, you know, who knows. But it's just the same thing as the Blizzard ones. So the only thing that these frames have is like slightly better customizability, that's it. And then targeted spells, of course, is the real new feature that they have over the Blizzard frames that I care about. Do I feel like the game is better without add-ons and stuff? Like performance? No, it's the same. For me and my PC, it's the exact same. I don't notice a difference. My performance is the exact same. You gotta remember we don't have weak cores. That was the thing that was affecting your PC the most, because it was using the shit out of your processor. Right? Whereas these add-ons do nothing at all. What about high keys without weak cores and stuff? It's fine. I've done every single one of these keys without add-ons, by the way. This is the first time I have like actual add-ons since, well, this morning basically. And I did like a couple of keys only with them. I've done everything else without add-ons. Default UI, pure default. Because why the fuck not? Jeez, man, what was that? I think we killed the smallies the same time that he exploded. Because like when these jumper dudes die, they explode for AoE. That was a really bad moment to kill them. It's like the worms and magisters, basically. But you don't need weak cores for keys, you just don't. Everybody's already done like a whole bunch of like high keys without add-ons or weak cores or anything like that. Like, I don't need even half of this. I've already played without them. Like, now I'm gonna play with them because I have them, where the fuck not, right? And I'm also experimenting to see if I even like this interface that I made for myself. So far I kind of like the frames the most, I think. I like not having like a huge fucking icon for people's defenses. And the targeted spells is convenient, because I am looking at the nameplates otherwise, like who's getting cast on, because, you know, you do have like targeted spells on the nameplates, right? So it's not like you have nothing at all. But yeah, it's better if it's on the frames, because it's easier to see. Because the problem is, like, as a healer, like, most of the time my attention is downstairs, most of the time. Or, well, you know, wherever your frames would be, you know, like, for me it's downstairs, because, you know, I'm using horizontal right now. But, like, my attention is away from the middle of the screen most of the time, is my point. Right? So having them on the frames is better if you can get it. And you can get it with the targeted spells add-on, or with Dunder's frames, because they also have targeted spells implemented into them to begin with as well. But again, I did everything else without them. I just looked at the nameplates with the default UI. And if you don't believe it, just type !YouTube and just check my uploaded keys. And you will see it. I'm using pure default UI in all my keys before this day. I just don't need them. I don't. They're conveniences for sure. I give you that. They're conveniences. They're nice, right? But you don't need them, to be honest. The biggest like thing that annoys me about Blizzard frames is like the defensive usage icons are just too big, and you cannot do anything with them yet. Eventually they will make you, you know, be able to edit them and stuff, but right now you can't, and it is just so annoying. Like it's like a 45 size icon or something ridiculous in the middle of your frames, right? I hate that shit. It's bad. Otherwise, the Blizzard frames are actually quite decent, I would say. Even as a druid, like, yes, I know there's like controversial take, but I actually don't need anything special for my HOTS. I can track them quite easily, in fact. But yeah, anyway. There's a targeted spells add-on, yes. Just type targeted spells together. If you want to get the individual add-on only, and use other things. But the thing for me is, like, with that add-on is, like, it felt a little glitchy sometimes, I don't know. I feel like these Dander frames are a bit more consistent for me, to be honest. I don't know. The targeted spells add-on felt a little bit glitchy for me. I'm not sure why. Maybe I did something to them, I don't know. Because like I installed it on my priest. I entered the dungeon alone just to test them. It worked. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Let's just maybe like reposition them a little bit because they're like all over the place. Then I relog on Druid and they stopped working completely. I'm like, okay, fuck this shit. And then I just installed Danders instead because I was told that they also have targeted spells. And it's like, yeah, they do actually have targeted spells. And I would say it's like at least 60% accurate. Of course, like, neither add-on is going to be 100% accurate about targeted spells. I mean, be happy that it works at all, to be honest. Right? But I would say, like, Danders is better than targeted spells as a solo add-on, I feel like. It feels a bit more consistent. And, well, to be honest, like, you're better off using Danders anyway, compared, because you would be using Blizzard default frames otherwise, right? Which are not as editable. Eventually they will be, probably, but right now they're not, so... If you're very picky, then you should play with Danders, in my opinion. They're very easy to edit. It took me like, I don't know, 30-40 minutes to set it up. Or you can just like type exclamation beta UI and just steal it, because I already uploaded it. But, you know, if you wanted to make your own, you could do it easily as well. In the case that you don't like the way that I've made it. I think I've made a decent one though. For what it is. Works on every spec as well, so. But anyway, yeah. My personal verdict is you don't really need add-ons for high keys at the moment, but if you can get like a good UI, you absolutely should, because it's always beneficial to you as a player. Anything that's an advantage is good, right? The other thing is, you asked about Devour. Devour DH for me is scuffed, man. I don't know. I hate it. It takes too long to ramp up your damage as a Devourer, I feel like. And by the time you've ramped, the pack is usually half dead. And then you pop a meta and then it's like half gone as well. Like, at its core, I feel like the gameplay of Devourer is just bad. I just feel like it's bad, to be honest. They need to change it or like make it more bursty or something, like make it like a Havoc, for example, type of spec, you know? Like the fact that it like takes so fucking long to ramp up meta, just so you can do any kind of damage at all, is ridiculous. Like, yes, in meta you're powerful, but can you get into the meta before the pack dies is the question, right? And typically the answer is no, especially like in a Bloodlust like first pull, the dungeon, where it's like the biggest fucking pull, the most impactful pull of the key, right? Essentially, like, because usually you pull a lot of shit during that. Because you know, it's like Bloodlust, it's potion, it's everything, right? Like, it's the spellbook, right? And by the time you ramp up your meta, the pack is literally dead already, bro. Like, and then you meta the next pull without potion, without Bloodlust, without anything. Like, I don't know. Gameplay-wise, it's very simple, obviously. So, like, literally, your grandma could play one, right? But, like, it's just the damage profile of it is just too scuffed for me, personally. It's just too slow, you know? For Raid, I can see it being decent, because in Raid, you have, like, damage phases, right? Typically, like, a burn phase and, like, a boss or something, right? But, like, for keys, I don't know, man, like... You're scuffing your damage if you have to hold too much, right? Because the extra souls, for example, that you're holding don't do anything for you. You just over-capping and wasting souls if you're not popping meta immediately, pretty much, right? Like, I feel like you can never hold in keys. In raid, you can hold a little bit, right? And then pop meta and then just burn the boss or whatever. Because you're not the only DPS, right? Your DPS doesn't really matter that much amongst the many, right? Whereas in keys, it absolutely matters because there's only 3 DPS, right? I mean, it's just a bit of a scuffed spec right now. Like I think they can fix it if they did a couple of changes to its gameplay. Or at the very least, like make it do like more base damage between metas, so it's not too bad. Like make it like powerful in meta, but like strong outside of meta too, type of thing, you know? Like it cannot be like mediocre outside of meta and like very strong in meta. Because essentially, like most of the time, you're just gonna be mediocre, right? Because you don't have perma meta. It's just impossible. No matter which build you play. Like, I'm aware that, like, the Devour can definitely do some respectable damage, I know. I've seen some Devourers do some decent damage, but that's the thing, right? It's because they could get a meta on, like, a one big pull, and then besides that, they are just fucking worthless. Half the key. I don't know. Maybe Devour mains feel different, but to me, like, playing with one is always fucked. Mediocre single target and debatable overall damage due to how slow it is to ramp. That's the right deck I have, personally. Easily fixable, I feel like, though. Whether it's like tuning or like because it's early well, technically still early beta, they could like, you know, I don't know, maybe like add a couple of more abilities to it or something. I don't know, add more talent points or anything like this. Like maybe like speed up their metas or something. I don't know, man. Something. And like the whole like canceling your collapsing star for any kind of movement, which happens all the time in keys, in losing resources, is probably like the most cut gameplay I've seen in a long time, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I tried playing Devour a couple of times for myself for funsies, right? Because like we had like a tank and a healer, right? And they wanted to play a key. I'm like, sure, I guess. Nah, bro. Nah. Essentially what I did there is just like, I paid, what is it, like 70 euro to sit in the cut chair. No chance. I'm not doing that ever again. I'd prefer to play Vengeance and play 2 tanks than play Devourer. Fuck that. I mean, obviously I can just set up a different DPS, but you know what I mean. Like, I would never want to play Devourer. That shit is boring and bad. It's just bad. To me personally. Like, it's got potential, but it's just currently shit because of its damage profile. And even the damage numbers are kind of low, obviously, for what it is. I do understand why they're kind of low, because it's like a ramp spec, so it semi-makes sense, but it also doesn't. Like in a key like this, for example, he would be doing like near the M of the fucking Hunter, for example, worth of like damage, like on the actual bar, right? So much, way less. Which tank is the most stable? Depends on what you define as stable, to be honest, I would say. What is your definition of stability? Like, do you like self-sustaining tank, or like tank that feels like decent to play with, like in terms of consistency of living, or like what's your definition, right? Because for example, for me, for like Monk is decent, but the problem with Monk is like it needs a DPS buff, like a little bit, I would say. It needs a different rate buff, so it's actually more playable, generally speaking, of course. But it also has like very weak self-healing, right? Like maybe you don't notice it because I'm playing on my Druid, and Druid is synergizing insanely well with Monk. But essentially, like, if you don't have like an HPS type of healer, Monk just falls over, kinda, basically. But if you have like an HPS healer, like a Shaman or like a Pali or a Druid or something like that, Monk is very strong on living, yeah. They are actually quite sturdy. Of course, obviously, you want to play with Druid the most, because you completely negate their stagger with just a fucking live bomb and upflow, but like, you know, if you can't, then any other HPS spec also works. And you can see, right, like, he hasn't dropped below 80 the entire key. It's not possible, really. Maybe, like, if he overpulls like a madman, then he can dip a bit, but even then I can stabilize him, because stagger keeps him alive very easily, and I can counter his stagger completely. Right? Ah, nah, it's fine. You overpulled, so... Makes sense, right? That's what I mean, like, if you pull, like, reasonably which pugs would be doing, you would never die on Monk, like, literally ever. It's impossible. A Stagger is just way too busted. Right, like, it's insanely broken. Like, the only healer where I felt bad to play with Monk was Disc Priest. That was the only healer that felt bad that I play. Like, I play Shaman, Paladin, and Druid and Disc. And Disc felt horrible with Brewmaster. Like I could still, like, mostly sustain him, but, like, he's dipping way more than I would like him to because I don't have consistent healing on him, right? Like, my Atonement healing doesn't really do a whole lot outside of, like, Radiance plus Mind Blast, or, like, you know, at least, like, one of them empowering my Penance, right? To give me, like, Atonement healing, kinda. Outside of that, it just doesn't do that much, right? It's like, and if I don't crit with my Penance, like, Hicks, where I do, like, a friendly Penance instead of an enemy one for Atonement, right? For, like, spot healing, I still don't really move his health bar as aggressively as I would like to, right? Same thing for Flash Shield crits. Whereas, like, on any other healer, you would just directly be healing the tank most of the time anyway, and he just wouldn't feel it, right? He'd be fine. Of course, like, the best one is still Druid, but if you had to pick something else, any of the other three would work as well. Just anything but the Disc Priest feels good with Mistweaver, with Brewmaster, I mean. Disc synergizes with VDH. I would say it synergizes with Propali as well, to be honest, because having these 2 PS charges for the tank is actually nutty, because they can walk themselves out of most trouble anyway, to be honest. As long as your tank is good, I don't think it's bad at all to play Vengeance or Propali with the Disc, to be honest. I do get it though, like, Pug Propalis are not amazing. That's true. I guess you would feel it with, like a Pug Propali. But most of them are just kind of a little bit too random with, like, how they play the game. But, like, you know, like, get like a good one, you know? Get like a good one and then it's actually quite good. They also cover your weaknesses, kind of, like, in terms of, like, spike heals through, like, wogs, right? But they don't really even lose anything, right? Because you have Seal of Charity. When you wog someone else, it wogs you for the same amount, right? So you don't even lose healing. Then they also give you Holy Bulwarks, they give you Devour DRs and stuff, right? They basically, like help you recover quite easily, I would say. This Disc. I like playing with Papalis and Disc, feels nice. Feels comfy. But yeah, he just cannot be bad though. If he's bad, it's Jover. Because he... Oh, yeah. Blind, I guess. Abby will die because of this. Probably, yep. Ah, yeah. Be fun, man. Tragedy. Tragedy. I didn't see that shit. Okay. I was looking at the nameplates, I wasn't looking at the... near myself. Fine. Summer is infinite, whatever. But anyway, you should be fine, I think. I don't have issues with them at least. But in terms of, like, most stable tank, it's kind of hard to say. It really depends on the player's skill, to be honest. Like, realistically, like, as long as you heal them, Brewmaster is supposed to be the sturdiest, I would say. Like, most consistent, easy to set up. There's also Bear, though. Guardian Druid is also pretty good, to be honest. And it's also noob friendly, because it's literally, like, brain damage level of easy to play, right? So there's also Bear. I would say Bear and Brew, but I think Bear is a little bit better because it doesn't need as much self-healing, like healing on him as Brew does, because it has more self-healing to frenzied regions and stuff. I would say. It's also like his mastery increases his healing taken, so it's very easy to top them compared to Brewmaster, right? Brewmaster for sure needs an HPS healer. Bear can get away with any healer, it doesn't matter. Like, I assume you're just asking from a puck perspective, which tank would you pick and be fine? It'd be like Bear or Brew, I think. Depends on your healer, really. Vengeance and Propelli for me are like, how to say, they're a bit of a gamble, right? It's like, yes, the potential of Vengeance and Paladin is insane, but that's the thing. It's potential, right? It's not a guarantee. The majority of, like, vengeances and propalies that are bugging keys are, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but they're usually not particularly good, right? Like they see they see the big streamer play it and they're like, oh yes, I'm OP bro, and then they fall over like it's nothing because they're just bad at defensive usage or setting up the pools or whatever, right? Whereas as like a bear, like a brew or something, you would literally just enter the key and just fucking jork it and play the key at the same time, and it doesn't fucking matter that much. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like defensively speaking, like they don't have to think about it too much. Like bear, I mean, just literally press fucking thrash on cooldown to generate power, moonfire target so you can get the DR that way. Incon when you have it, and wall. That's it, right? And then monk exists and stagger just carries you. Like you don't even need to press defenses most of the time, unless you pull big, I guess. Maybe then you need to, but I don't know. It feels a bit, yeah. Some things are definitely like less brain power than others, that's for sure. For bugs. Why did I change the position of my frames? Because I can. That's it. Because I just wanted to do it. Because I wanted to be, if I like horizontal frames. It's not that deep, promise you. There's no advantage to it, if that's what you're asking. It's just for looks, and just to see if I like it. Last time I played with horizontal was in Shadowlands, right? And I played like the entirety of Dragonflight and War Within with vertical frames. I just wanted to see if I still like horizontal or not. And I mean, it seems fine. I can use it just fine, yeah, so I'm probably just gonna play horizontal, I think. But in case you're trying to decide for yourself, it's literally just based on your preference. Just because, like, you know, like, oh, that streamer guy plays horizontal frames, it doesn't matter, it's a preference. It's literally a preference, it absolutely doesn't matter what you do. Whatever is good for you, is my suggestion. What looks good on your screen, you know, like, what works for your mouse positioning and movement and stuff, you know? There's no advantages whatsoever. Some people are used to vertical, some are used to horizontal. For me, I just want to do it for funsies, you know? New expansion, new me, you know, or something. Fun. Because I can. You tried before, you thought you would suck in... Oh, no, don't worry about it. You would actually get used to it. Postponing changing them if you're trying to change is bad, though. If you're gonna do it while you can, right? So you don't have to learn mid-expansion or something. You could do it during the beta or during the B-patch or whatever. Okay, holy shit, that was some high damage on us. What the fuck? Rejuve is fucking blasting, dude. Holy shit. Gaming. The pink button wins sometimes. Oppa, Blueby, goodbye. To be honest, I expected somebody to die here. I thought it was gonna be longer though. I didn't think it'd be Bulvix, to be honest. I had higher fate. I'm gonna hold my bark for intermission. Blobby, he ate another ball. Blobby is lucky that I have Light Bloom on him. Otherwise Blobby would be on the floor right now. Yeah, let's just swap it to the lizard real quick. Bark the hunter. And give some attention to our warlock friend here. A little Swiftman for the boys, a little Wild Growth, refresh my Light Bloom, a little Rejuve again. And Rejuve be dominating that healing though, for real, for real. Now the question is, do people have defensives here? Oppa, okay. I'm gonna swap my Light Bloom and NS up. Ball on me, I'm blind, unlucky. Feral Frenzy, not Feral Frenzy, Frenzy Regen, saves the day. That's gonna be a Healing Convoke, I'm thinking. Yep, Healing Convoke it is. And Light Bloom myself so I can reposition my flow a little bit here and then swap it after. Ball on Blobby. Blobby really wants to die today, I guess. Yeah, exactly. That is precisely why I changed, by the way, to begin with, for the record. Not that it's relevant information, but that is exactly why in Shadowlands, towards the end of it, I believe, or during the PTR or beta for Shadowlands, for Dragonfight, I changed to vertical frames. Because there was like a growing increase of Omnicity value, you could say, right? It was getting better and better and better, and it's like... It looks so fucking cringe to me, like on horizontal frames, like the Omnicity thing is down instead of like left, you know? Like it's just, it looks so fucking weird, right? And it's also like more and more things were added, like, you know, AoE stops, sigil stops, kicks, so all the shit, right? Which, I mean, my retail UI still has them like on this side of the screen, all of them. It's so much shit on the screen, right? But now without Omnicity, I feel like I can play horizontal again because I don't have a cringe load of shit on my screen. Very nice, very nice. That's like part of the reason why I changed. The other part was I just wanted to see like maybe like vertical frames would work better for me or something. And I mean, I played with it for 2 years and I would say it's about the same. The verdict is it's about the same, to be honest. Nice skills. I did bark as well on Abby on top. Maybe I should have barked longer in hindsight now. Because longer was dipping more. Abby was fine, I guess. What happened here? I should be getting one of these things. Yep. I'm gonna just make this bastard fall asleep and then trying to stabilize Hellbars. I missed mine. I am not having a good time. Should be okay though. Have Trank. Another Trank Invoke. All is good in the world. This delays people's cooldowns though, that sucks. I wonder if it's because I missed mine or did we miss more than one? It's probably because I missed mine, would be my guess. Actually, if I can get away without pressing Convoke would be very sexy and cool. And I did. Beautiful. Now I can fucking palm the boss. I can go from doing no damage to doing actual damage. In a brief moment here. Come on. Be nice to me. Bite. Feral Frenzy pop. Bite. Convoke. Meldrake. And I can squeeze in one more bite. Well, we're doing 50k now. Now we're doing damage. One more bite. Hiya. Now we're doing the same as the tank. Too bad the tank is a brewmaster, so it doesn't really have insane single target, so our point of reference is not great, but hey now, I'm doing damage. You can't say that I'm not. The first and last time I do damage the whole key. Whenever the boss takes about a bunch of damage. The same thing in Nexus Point. As well. Pretty much like, and the same thing is like my Sarah last boss. Like, if the boss takes a bunch of extra damage, I can do insane damage as a healer, like as Resto Druid. But if the boss doesn't take any damage taken, well, extra, then I do like 20 to 30k max. It's just not possible to do more. Unlucky, is all I can say. It's probably healing Convoke, I think. On this set of like lines, because the boss will not phase again anyway. He's gonna die before he phases, I think. I'm gonna make this big crystal die. Bark myself. Someone else is here. Okay, they moved. Me longer and the... Oppa. Wait, what? What just happened? We missed one. Okay, well, we definitely don't get a phase now. Let's just live bloom the tank in case, because we're about to get more stacks of the debuff. And give them more pink button, and we win. Yeah, this felt piss easy compared to before with more item level. Dude, this is a joke. We could do this on 20, easily. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm liking double thriving a lot, though. Because the thing is, like, it's not a very powerful talent, but the small little spike heal that it gives you on top of your spike heal is actually kind of nice. Oh yeah, I had a bad timer, yes. I had a bad timer.